Hi, Peter Thomson here, and just had a great coffee with John Kennedy, who's a Drupal technology and product manager at Shoreditch Grind in London, and it was just pouring with rain about 30 seconds ago, and the sun's just come out, bizarrely enough. So I thought I'd drop a quick video because we had a really interesting conversation about value. So I started off my early studies in economics. So I studied economics right away from high school. In fact, I fell in love with economics because it's a particular type of psychology. So really, economics isn't about finance and maths and accounting and the numbers. It's really about understanding human behavior. And it's understanding the kind of most raw human behavior, which is the exchange of value. And it's interesting because that value is denominated through money. It could be Bitcoin or US dollars or pounds or euros or whatever it is. It's convenient to have a number that's attached to the value, but that's not inherent to it. What's really inherent is that I have something and that someone else wants something, and that we exchange those two, and that we're both happier as a result. And economists would call that utility, because happiness is a little bit too confusing and kind of too nebulous a term. So they would say, okay, an increase in utility occurs from an exchange of value. So think about utility, which is happiness, kind of broadly read, whatever that means, and exchange. So an exchange has to happen, and it's an exchange of value. So it's something that someone wants and that you want in return. And that's actually the fundamental unit of human interaction. Like, it really is, like the exchange of value. And what we were talking about really in a startup ecosystem is how you monetize that value. So how do you find value, find a hypothesis for a new business on what people want? So we started talking about the value proposition canvas, which is really, if you think about the business model canvas, like the giant kind of, okay, what are all the partners, the channels, all the different elements of the business? Turns out the real crunch point in that is, does anyone want our shit? Like, really, like, is there a customer? Does the customer want something? Do they have a pain? And do they want what we have? So really understanding your product, understanding the customer, and understanding what they want, that's where value happens. And that's how you build a value exchange. So I think that's why the value proposition canvas is a really important tool. And I think it's why really understanding what the value is that you're offering and creating is just so important to a startup. Because if you start building a business going, oh, I love fashion, or I love sports, or I love XYZ, I'm going to do a startup about that, then you're not starting from the place of what is the value that I can offer, and in particular, what is the value that I can exchange with someone else in return for cash or investment or whatever it is that your goal is. I think it even applies to the non-profit sector. There still has to be an exchange of value somewhere. So look for, in your own businesses, even in your own career, where am I exchanging value?